Hey guys, I'm John. Welcome back to my channel.
Welcome, man.
I'm here in Calgary with my big, blue, beautiful Alberta flag, with a whole bunch of other big, blue, beautiful flags.
Welcome. We like Edmonton too.
Hey, awesome.
Edmonton is not just NDP. We are all one.
No. Well, I don't know how many NDP are in this movement, but I don't really think it's that.
No.
Is it left and right?
I think about 50% of them will end up voting for independence because it's just going to make sense for their pockets and bank account.
Well, it's like if you're left or right, you still want a tax cut. But
And you don't want your money wasted.
We watch you all the time. Have to come over and say hi.
hey, thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, thanks for volunteering, guys. Hey, awesome. Well, how long have you guys been out here for?
Since 10.
10 o'clock? Oh, hey, how's it going again?
Good.
You guys are like the coolest people. You're getting lots of signatures. I don't want to get that signature pad on my camera there.
Or this.
Oh, yeah, no, not that too.
Hey, go have a pizza.
Oh, there's pizza? Oh, there's a bouncy castle?
There's
Oh,
donuts.
what am I looking for? Donuts?
Pizza.
Oh, no.
It's right on the back of the pickup.
Holy crap. Who bought all the pizza?
Donuts and
John from
Really?
John.
Oh,
John
definitely. John Bolton, is he here? Oh,
Yeah, he is.
Where is he?
I don't know
Oh, hey.
right now.
Oh, I'm just gonna wander around. You guys are the coolest people.
Yeah, because we're like you. We're for Alberta.
Hey, yeah, that's right. We're all for Alberta.
John Bolton's right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's right
cool.
there.
I'll get around it.
Yeah.
Is he actually a canvasser too?
No, yes, I
Actually,
believe
John
he is.
John got his.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is a really exciting event for so many people to be here.
Great meeting you, John. I just
Yeah.
came by to say hi.
Hey, thank
And
you.
you have yourself a great one.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for coming out
To the Republic of Alberta.
to the Republic of Alberta.
Republic of Alberta.
I had this thing 16 feet in the air, but
What happened?
well, we were going to take off till we saw you, so
Oh, well,
I think we might have to put it up for a little bit.
I mean,
Just so John can get it
we
on his.
we can wave in more people off the road. I think that's the whole point of everybody showing up here. Wave everybody off the road, eh? Wow. I didn't even get to say my intro, guys. That's such a cool group.
Okay, yes.
Has it been really successful here so
It
far?
has.
Getting lots of signatures?
It had,
Yeah, it's really visible. Like I can see from the highway, like people coming off the highway, they can see us here. Lots of blue flags.
Perfect spot.
Yeah. Wow, awesome.
Call one.
Yeah, there's blue flags on all the vehicles. I'm so proud to be Alberta. I'm so proud to be Alberta.
Yeah,
You guys are so cool.
yeah, it's gotten big in the last half an hour. It's just gone crazy.
Yeah. It's almost like everybody woke up, had the
Yeah.
coffee, and now they're here.
Well, and I think there's a bit of a push now because we're worried about this injunction, right? What do you guys think of that?
We hate it.
Yeah.
But it's
Should
like,
not be legal, but
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I don't think it's gonna happen. I can't believe it because, like, that a group of people can stop another group of people from having a vote or like a referendum to have a vote. Like,
Yeah.
Like pizza.
Well,
Thanks.
Mitch is going to court on it too, so.
yeah,
But
yeah. Well, that's cool.
I don't think it's fair though, considering they gave us the full length of time, and all of a sudden we can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah, I don't think they will. Oh, hey.
Thanks for coming out for Alberta Independence today. You came and the bouncy castle went back up. It's been up and down with the wind all morning, and apparently adults can go in there, although I'm a little bit of a child, so I might go in there myself later. We just had the pizza come here. Please eat the pizza. Take the pizza, eat it, because we don't want to have to go home with it. So fill yourself up before you slow roll. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. We also have donuts, lots of donuts. So many nice people in the independence movement coming out here today with donuts and all sorts of great stuff. We've got coffee over here if you want some as well. Please have a cup of coffee. And thanks so much for being here today and making this a big success.
Hey, thanks so much, John. Hey, am I on YouTube twice?
Oh yeah.
What's your channel?
No,
Oh,
I'm mostly an X gal. But I follow you, and when you pop up on X, I go to YouTube.
oh, okay. Well, thanks so much for following me. Are you out here canvassing or helping just show support?
I'm in the slow roll.
Okay. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's how I got here. I was in the slow roll as well.
Yes, I saw you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool you made it here today.
Yeah. Well, we meet the coolest people in this movement. That's something I'm so proud of. Is like all the Albertans coming together on this. You know, like we're unified on this,
Agreed.
and it's such a good feeling. I feel so proud.
It's empowering.
Yeah, it really is. That's a good word. It's empowering to be part of this. Although it's really windy too.
Yeah.
Hey, cool. Thanks so much.
Oh yeah, you bet. And
Yeah.
thanks for everything you do.
Well,
Really appreciate that. And I appreciate your gentle approach to the situation and just allowing people to, getting them to speak.
yeah. Yeah, well, and I don't want to be like, I'm right and you're wrong kind of thing. It's like I want to learn and hear other people's point of views. And it's kind of hard to keep a conversation going sometimes. So there's some things I regret not like pushing people on more. But I don't know. I mean, I'm thank you for saying that.
Oh, I saw your interview with the young gal at the Edmonton Dog Park
Okay.
yesterday.
What do you think of that?
I thought it was really good. She was very polite and very thoughtful.
Yeah.
And so she obviously had things to say, but you
Yeah.
brought it out in her. You made it safe for her to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to get some things sorted in her own mind.
Yeah. Well, I was really impressed with her humility, and some people were kind of probably frustrated that I didn't push back harder on her on some issues, but like, I don't want to do that. I want her to she was already coming to a lot of good conclusions. Like,
Agreed. Like she just needed to have, to be able to talk it out.
yeah.
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 And she went home and she thought about a lot of things for sure.
Yeah. Although I haven't seen if she's commented on it or not, or I don't know. There's so many people commenting, it's kind of hard to lose it all.
I'm always driving around doing these things, so it's
Yeah.
tough to check.
Well, that bouncy castle keeps falling over. What's the...
Yeah, it's not a good day for bouncing castles.
No. Huh. That's interesting. Well, thank you so much for coming out. What else do you want to say for the camera? This is kind of just impromptu. Like I just jumped out. I'm like, I just want to meet people and say hi. And
Well, I'm just really hoping that somehow we can crack the mainstream media, or state media as I like to call it.
right.
I think they've been the biggest weapon the federal government's had. And
Yeah.
I think it's a shame that not more people are aware of the situation, aware of just becoming aware of the system and how it can't work for us.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and I was thinking about this, like, why do I support Alberta independence? Because the path that Canada's on, we're just like, it's so corrupt, and I don't have hope for it. We're looking down a dystopian future with like extreme socialism and authoritarianism. Like our government isn't what we thought it was, Like, I want to get off of this ride.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of why I want to get off this ride. I don't like the moral ground they have, and
Right.
yeah, I don't want that for myself or my children's future at all.
No. And like, I'm really inspired by the idea that we can create something awesome. Like, we can write a constitution that guarantees our freedoms.
Huge opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world's watching.
And like, I woke up this morning, I was thinking about what an adventure this is. I feel like, like I'm in a fairy tale, and like maybe we're a bunch of like knights marching off on, with our flags, except we're knocking people over. Do you kind of feel like that? We're on an adventure?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. It's exciting. It is
Yeah.
exciting for the last decade, and I think that's when people really started to wake up and started paying attention to like how the system works.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like how our system works. Because like I think a lot of Canadians felt like we have freedoms, and like, when we're kids on the playground, it's like Canada's a free country. Kids would say that, right? But we're not. We have privileges that are discretionary whenever politicians come after us, right?
I'm just really tired of the government overreach, and they've got to stay in their own lane. They've got to shrink down.
Yeah.
We need to take it back. Like they work for the people.
Yeah.
And they haven't been.
Well, we can.
Introducing ideologies that just we're not down with. Like nobody asked for that.
Yeah.
So step back.
Yeah. Well, we can actually create a system of government that meets our values, represents us as Albertans, right? like, that's what is so exciting about this. So, hey,
Agreed.
cool. Thanks so much for
Yeah,
coming out.
thanks so much, John.
Yeah, have a
Thanks.
good one.
You too.
Take care. All right, follow me some more. I look forward to hearing your comments. Cool, thank you. Let's see what else is going on here. A lot of people out here. Hey, how's it going? Free pizza. Can't go wrong with that. Are you guys canvassers?
So I'm the guy that wrote Value of Freedom.
You're the guy who wrote the Value of Freedom?
Yes, I was the principal author.
Wow.
So
What's your name? I'm sorry.
Dennis Kalma.
Dennis Kalma.
Yes.
You look a little different in your picture. I'm sorry.
Better or worse?
No, I didn't mean that the wrong way. I hope you forgive me.
No worries. No, John asked me to come out here, and people have questions, I can answer.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, I mean, I've kind of come to the conclusion that I would support Alberta independence regardless of economic issues.
well,
A lot of people talk about that, but for me, it's more philosophical, like freedom,
yes,
you know?
but you got the added benefit
Yeah,
of you will be financially far better off.
yeah,
It is well within range
Yeah.
to reduce income taxes by 1/3 to 1/2
Yeah.
on day one.
yeah,
That is more than possible. So you get your freedom, you get your willingness to have a constitution that supports you, and better financial outcomes in your life.
yeah,
So imagine taking a third of your income tax and putting it in your pocket.
yeah. Well, and I read most of the Value of Freedom.
It's a heavy read.
It's a little bit technical for me. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, I try to absorb most of it. It seems really persuasive. Like, you did a good job with that.
Well, it was about 5 weeks, about 12-hour days, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And a lot of revisions and so forth. But the guts of it is, we wanted to make sure the numbers were believable.
Yeah.
And the policies were plausible.
Right.
Because without the policies, you can't cost anything.
Right,
So that's why they're in there.
right,
And we sort of said, we want to make this durable, and so far there's been no meaningful challenge.
right.
So
Yeah, I mean, people just say, "Oh, I don't trust it because it's like propaganda from your side." But like,
No, it's okay.
what else can you do? You give them the numbers, you bring them to it, and then they don't believe it. Like,
also, that's why we tell them, go to StatsCan,
Yeah.
you can find the numbers, go to CRA,
Yeah.
you can find the numbers, we put our work out there. You don't agree with an estimate or a projection, fine.
Yeah.
What's the correct number in your mind?
Yeah.
So far, no one's done that.
yeah,
All they do is say, well, more risk, and you go, yeah, there's risk no matter what we do.
Yeah.
Staying in Canada's got risks.
yeah,
You think we're going to be in good shape 10 years from now with Carney blowing through $80 billion a year
No.
and borrowing money?
no,
So yeah, there's risk with everything.
right. See, for me, I think I'm more enticed by like the idea of like freedom, a constitution that guarantees our rights. You know, we can develop a government that actually represents our values. If the economy was if it was even a prospect of negative, I'd still support this. But maybe I'm a unique person for thinking that way.
I'm the editor of the Constitution. So we just published with Colin McLeod and Dennis Modry,
Yeah.
it's on his Substack,
Yeah.
a document with the principles of the Constitution that we've drafted.
Right.
So we have that full draft ready. We're going to probably release it after the
Okay.
petition signing is complete.
Okay.
And it has a lot of things people like in it.
Okay.
For example, hard rights,
Yeah.
textual rights, term limits, limits on government spending,
Yeah.
and so forth.
Yeah. Well, okay, now I want to talk a little bit philosophical then. So, like, first of all, what do you think about natural rights? That whole argument when it comes to, like, I guess rights are just coming from God, or how would we phrase that?
So the Judeo-Christian belief set,
Yeah.
you take out the religion, values every person as an individual person.
Yeah.
And therefore, by reason of existence, they have rights. They
Right.
matter as much as the next guy. So that natural rights, natural law thing is the underpinning of this.
Right.
Now, we're going to spell out specific rights that people care about. I'll pick a favorite of mine. Right to bear arms.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech. Freedom of association. Freedom of belief.
Yeah.
Freedom to hold your property and own it.
Yeah.
All those kind of things have to be spelled out because you really want to make sure the government doesn't interfere with any of those.
So let me push back a little bit, because, like, I guess we might have another situation where, you know, like a pandemic, you know, and would you envision that rights could be taken away even in dire situations like that?
So in times of emergency, the thing we built in is a maximum 6-month window, and none of the basic rights can be unfolded. So, for example, right to bodily autonomy.
Yeah.
You don't want to take a vaccine, you don't need to take a vaccine.
Okay.
It's up to you what you do with your body.
Okay.
And because as soon as you open the door to say, well, the government can overrule rights,
Yeah.
I think you're opening up a door that's got scary consequences.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's always because it's somebody's discretion, right?
Totally.
You know?
Well, I mean, Germany, people lose sight of the fact that Hitler came to power by election under the laws of that land.
Yeah.
And then he took them apart because he had the option to do so.
Yeah.
We don't want to give guys like him the option to undo rights, ever, no matter how.
Yeah. And so now just to clarify, because a lot of Canadians feel like we have rights already, what you just described. But I don't think we have rights. I think we have discretionary privileges. The first clause in the charter says that they can take it away.
Well, most Canadians don't understand that Pierre Trudeau fundamentally altered the basis of law in Canada. Basically, he changed it from the Parliament being supreme to the courts being supreme. And then in the charter it says, so if the government sees it necessary for the good of the people, they can override rights. That was not true before.
Right.
What was true before is Parliament could overrun rights, but they are subject to electoral pressure.
Right.
When Trudeau changed the courts, a bunch of unelected judges sit until they're 75. They can say, oh, by the way, we don't like your right and your flag. We can stop it in the good of the people.
Right.
The other thing they added was what's called the living tree doctrine.
Right.
So they say the Constitution should evolve over time. We disagree with that. The rights should be textual and interpreted forever as they are written.
Yeah.
Not with things read into them.
Yeah. And see, this is what really excites me is we can fix a lot of the problems. Like the way right now the way our system is set up, it's working the way it's designed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've looked at some European constitutions, the Swiss, the American one, of course, the Westminster system, and others.
Yeah.
And we think we can make some real big improvements on them, meaningful improvements.
Yeah.
And that's where the term limits come in. Also, we're
Yeah.
considering something called an oversight branch,
Yeah.
whose sole purpose is to make sure the government doesn't violate the Constitution.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a semi-judicial oversight, make sure government stays in their lanes.
So would that body be elected as well?
Yes, elected but fixed term, one term and you're out.
Yeah.
So it's imagine you get elected to it, you
Yeah.
do your 8-year term, you're done.
Yeah. See, this is what excites me is like so many people in history, we're just born into a time and place where the rules are the way they are, and we just have to do what we're told and fall in line. But right now, we're at a point in history we can create our own system.
We
That's
can
what
do
we're
that.
doing.
So the way we see the Constitutional Conference working out
Yeah.
is we would get obviously some members from the UCP,
Yeah.
some members from the independence movement, indigenous representation, and other groups, academics perhaps, probably 5 to 8 constituencies, and every clause would need to be passed by a majority of each constituency.
Right.
So that way you don't have laws with pushed by one body versus another. And then if it doesn't pass, you try and rewrite it and adjust it. And we'll end up with a constitution that we voted on by the people
Yeah.
and owned by the people of Alberta.
Yeah. I was kind of envisioning like maybe certain groups could come together and then maybe put forward delegates.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would like to have a group where you just take 10 citizens at random,
Yeah.
just like you do for jury duty,
Yeah.
and say, okay, you, and you come in, and
Yeah.
you sit on this body. Also, if you have a petition you want to bring forward,
Yeah.
like a group of people, I feel very strongly about this.
Yeah.
Well, let's accept those petitions, accept those representations, and bake them into the process.
Right.
It has to be open.
Right. So now, like, I'm trying to push back a little bit. What gives you the authority to be the one writing this? And then I'm thinking, like, what gave the founding fathers of the United States the authority? How does that even happen?
So we are drafting an input into the Constitutional Conference. So we don't think our Constitution is the one that's final.
Okay.
We're hoping most of the concepts in there get accepted, but that's why this Constitutional Conference, that is the deciding body and ultimately a referendum for the people of Alberta.
Right.
That's how it gets decided, the final one. And then we have our first election under that Constitution, and that's our first real government.
Yeah. And then would it be maybe ratified for like 5 years and then we like revisit it until we can kind of get something really solidified? Or
No, I think we can do better than that. There's a lot of good history out there. Pick on the American Constitution, 250 years. We take a lot of elements from that, but we've got an amending formula in there. So if we find out there's mistakes in the thing, we amend it. The Americans got 27 amendments. We'll probably end up with a bunch of them as well. And rather than redoing the whole thing in 5 years, you want stability.
Well, did you listen to the Jason Kenney debate with what's his name?
Dr. Party?
Yeah, Dr. Party.
No, Dr. Party well. But he and I have worked together, and I don't agree with some of his points of view, but I love him. He's a great guy, and I listened to parts of it. I think he won hands down, in my opinion. But he's an awfully smart guy, and he's been helping us as well.
I'm really persuaded by Dr. Party's argument that maybe we should have the concept of the government is where the government has no power except for what we give it. I like that.
So the argument he and I had, I agree with minimalist government. So does everyone in APP. And the government has to be, it cannot be the managerial state. The point I disagree with Dr. Party on is it's a very academic approach he's got. It's hard for the average person to get it.
Right.
And it requires a great deal of effort on citizens to fight for their rights day to day. So there's a balance between his point of view and what we have today that I think we can strike.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to 2 podcasts of him speaking, and it seemed really persuasive, but I like the idea, the government has no power except for what we give it, specifically.
And the way we've written it now, the draft we're working on, it essentially says the government is limited to these specific things.
Right.
Obviously, running the country in some degree, and after that, nothing. If it's not laid out specifically, they don't have the right to do it, ever.
And another thing he said is he wants to get rid of the bureaucratic class of people, the professional politicians, the political class that's all they do. They get in and they just live their whole life for the government.
Well, term limits are a big deal.
Yeah.
Because that means if you serve your 8 years in office, you're done for life.
Yeah.
I think the same rule should be applied to senior civil servants, the top 2 layers. You put in your 8 years or 10 years, whatever we decide, and then you're done. So that way we get turnover at the top and don't have career civil servants at the top of the house.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, in that debate, Kenny said something to the effect of Albertans want to have a socialist country or something because apparently, there's a lot of people in Alberta who want socialism. What would you push back to that? Do you think we're going to get this libertarian kind of government that we're talking about right now?
Well, I would argue with his point, because the biggest selling point we have when I talk to undecided people is when you convince them they can cut their tax burden by 1/3 to 1/2, that usually changes their mind.
Right.
Because most people agree government doesn't do a great job at anything.
Right.
And they overspend.
Right.
And they over-control. And when you say, hey, but we can cut your taxes, keep more of your money, then people begin to say, oh, okay, I can buy into that. Full libertarianism, that's a pretty far step out there. There is something closer to the middle that we can do.
Well, I mean, I'm more of a classical liberal, but I really do like a lot of libertarianism, but a lot of Albertans, they just want their free socialist, healthcare and everything. That was, I think, Kenny's point.
Well, I think though, if you walk these people through what the end point of that is, you say to them, okay, so let's continue doing this. You begin to tax more. We give you more money. That's a declining curve. And when they get their head around the fact that the thing that makes money is not government. What makes money is you and me investing, starting businesses, making products. Then they begin to shift their mindset. So I think we're going to find most people, when they really understand socialism, they don't buy into it. I don't agree with Kenny.
Well, and I kind of wonder what Kenny's trying to position himself for, but
replacement for Pierre Poilievre? I have no idea. I would not vote for the guy to be dog catcher.
Okay, so now this is for a dog catcher. So I'm kind of getting to the point now where I'm not even interested in federal politics at all anymore, and I can't see past independence. This is all I can think of.
Well, I'm much the same way. I used to give to the Conservative Party. I used to contribute to a bunch of political causes.
Yeah.
I literally put everything I got into this.
Yeah.
Because what happens day 2 if we fail?
Yeah.
After the hangovers at work?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not a good place.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like if we keep voting, like one of the best arguments, and I say best in quotations here, that to stay in Canada is we can still fix it, right?
Yeah.
we just vote CPC a few more times and Pierre will get in and everything will be okay. Okay, just breathe.
So the main thing people got to realize is the structure of Canada is wrong.
Yeah.
Its charter is flawed. It has no meaningful Senate.
Right.
Parliament is no longer supreme.
Right.
So the courts have control. There's all sorts of things structurally incorrect. So to change those would require what I call the 5 constituencies to get together and change it. The Maritimes,
Yeah.
Quebec, Ontario,
Yeah.
the West, and Indigenous people. So what's the chances of Quebec giving up equalization payments?
Yeah, they'll never give it up. Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
So I see no path for rearranging Canada in a meaningful way.
Right.
And if you talk about Dr. Party, his point is, if Alberta leaves, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
But the rest of Canada's only chance is for Alberta to leave, because that will force them to confront their problems and perhaps deal with them.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I've said a few times. Is like the irony is the best thing for Canada is for Alberta to leave, because then they're going to have to wake up and solve their problems. Like you're right, this is our system's working the way it's designed, and it's not going to ever change.
No, I mean, like I said, can you imagine hosting such a conference, get those 5 groups together,
Yeah.
and arguing about whatever you want to argue about, putting in property rights that are missing today, and you're going to have bodies that say no.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way to resolve it.
Yeah,
So the thing would fail, like Charlottetown had trouble,
Yeah.
and there's no path to fix it.
right.
And so if someone sees a path, I go, make it work.
Well, okay, so here's another pushback then is the sovereign Alberta within the unified Canada, or however that goes, and it's like maybe we use this independence vote to leverage ourselves a better deal. What do you say to that?
Well, the structure's still wrong.
Yeah.
So if the structural changes could be made, maybe. But I think Albertans have gotten beyond that.
Yeah.
Like, I lived through the NEP in 1982.
Yeah.
I've lived through multiple governments, conservative and federal and liberal, who have done nothing but destroyed the country.
Yeah.
I no longer have faith in the system. So I don't see it happening. And if we don't win this referendum, I don't see Canada getting better. I see it getting worse.
Yeah. And that's what's so sad for me too, right? Is like I would still in my heart like to see Canada succeed, but at the same time I don't think it's even possible.
I don't leave Canada in anger.
No.
It's sadness.
It is.
Because the country that I grew up in isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go back to it with an
Yeah.
independent Alberta,
Yeah.
but I don't see Canada itself going back to the country it once was.
No.
And that's sad. It doesn't make me angry.
It's sad. You know, I was thinking about how right around the vote, October 19th supposedly, you know, Remembrance Day comes up right after that. And let's say we win or lose, I guess it doesn't matter, but like win is like all those memorials that people set up with the Canadian flag. Like I know Sylvan Lake has one that it's like just a line of Canadian flags. Like what would we do to still honor the veterans and their history that's shared with Canada, but like that we're not part of anymore? Like how does it work? What do you think?
Well, we always have our history.
Yeah.
I look back at the Indigenous peoples and say they have their history, but that part's gone.
Yeah.
I look at Canada and say we had a lot of good things, much happened that was positive, but that part's gone.
Yeah.
Now we're just going our own way.
Yeah.
So I still respect it, I still love it, but it's a part of my past.
Yeah.
When I was a child, I loved things too.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to being a child. I'm happy as an adult.
Yeah.
So I look at that part with fondness and with care and with love. But now I look at going forward in a different way.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at Canada.
Yeah. Hey, do you know offhand when we got the Maple Leaf flag? When did that happen?
I think it was around 1963 under Pearson.
Okay. So that was like well after World War II though, right? Yeah. So really all the World War II veterans, they were fighting under the old Canadian flag, right? So what if that was my thought, what if we just, Albertans are like, hey, we're going to honor Canada's, Remembrance Day with the old Canadian flag?
I have no problem with that. Like I said, you have to respect your history.
Yeah.
You have to respect your past. And I don't even, like I said, I don't leave in anger. I leave in sadness.
Yeah.
And I still respect what was there.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, that is. I know it's kind of weird to get hung up on a little detail like that, but in my heart, I think, okay, what about the day after? Let's say we win. Let's say we get a slim majority, actually, like 52%. That's what Newfoundland joined with, right? We get out with 52. Do we just go to City Hall and legislature and all these government buildings, take down the Canadian flag and just assert ourselves? Is that what we do?
No, because as Eva Chapayak said very well a couple of times, nothing changes on day 2.
Okay.
The provincial government is still the government of the land. Canadian law still applies, but there's now a duty to negotiate.
Right.
Now, in parallel, we have to do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Get that constitutional conference going. Start with identifying some laws that have to happen right away.
Right.
Main one is no more money to the CRA.
Right.
Stuff like that. But it's the provincial government that starts the negotiation.
Okay.
And until such time as there's some sort of structure of a deal in place,
Okay.
it's really negotiation with provinces. Canadian law still applies.
Okay.
Alberta law still applies.
Okay.
Once we get the constitutional conference ready,
Yeah.
that's when the laws really change.
Right.
That's the big changing point.
So you're saying that I still got to pay my taxes to federal government?
Well, this is where you get some
Because I don't want to.
you get some gray zones. Because my mind is, we say we're stopping the money flow. Well, what are you going to do with it? Leave it in the bank?
Yeah.
I just go to people and say, just don't remit your federal taxes anymore.
Yeah.
And provincial taxes, please remit.
Yeah.
And, let the government of Canada deal with it.
Well, and here's what I was thinking. Like 52 is such a small majority, but I think it's enough legally, but morally maybe, I don't know. But, if 52% stop sending their taxes and then they start getting the word out, and then all of a sudden other people like, well, I guess if they're not sending it, I voted to stay, but I'm not sending my taxes in either. They're probably going to do that, by the way. Like, that's how things change.
I think it has to be the law of the land. I think
Yeah, it has to be the law.
there's several bills that the provincial government has to pass right away. One of them is a law that says, okay, all remittances go into an Alberta bank.
Yeah.
Provincial taxes, federal taxes, you name it. And we just don't remit, or we choose to remit what we want to remit.
Okay.
And then another law would be, so you, me, whatever, you no longer have to send in your federal taxes.
Right. But I mean, like, the CRA would just go into my bank account and take it all out anyway.
Who says they have control of your bank account then?
Well, but if I bank with, like, CIBC or Royal Bank, they're going to... Maybe Alberta Treasury Bank could be, like, on our side.
ATB, Bow Valley Credit Union, all those places. But also, too, I think they have no right to take your money anymore because Alberta effectively is independent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're negotiating our way out, but the vote's been had.
Yeah.
If they try and do that, that's where the government has to step in, provincial government, and say, no, banks, you cannot remit that money.
Right. So they would have to quickly pass. But then that's like, there's so much uncertainty about what a clear majority is, and it seems like Parliament reserved that right for themselves to decide, but we need to assert ourselves at that point. So how do we assert ourselves?
So there's a group of folks I'm talking with that are trying to get together to work up a transition plan.
Yeah.
To essentially put together a document that says, okay, here's how we handle all these things.
Yeah.
And what we want to do then is give that to the provincial government on day one after the referendum and say, okay, here's the plan.
Yeah.
Here's the things you have to do, including answering some of the questions you've got.
Yeah.
They're going to argue and complain and squabble with us,
Right.
but substantially we think we can get a good plan forward. Right. And then some of those things that you're worried about get locked down.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is really relevant is the Americans, I think, will recognize us on day one.
Like right away.
And that'll take a lot of the risk out of the system.
Yeah.
Because they're still going to take our oil.
Yeah.
They're still going to pay us the money for it.
Yeah.
They're still going to, give us access across the border.
Yeah.
So they're going to say, well, Alberta's in good shape.
Yeah.
What people miss is that Canada is in far worse shape.
Yeah.
They don't have an economic engine anymore.
Yeah.
They have an unserviceable debt.
Yeah.
Everything's going to get repriced worse because they're at worse risk.
Okay.
And they will be under pressure to negotiate, I think, more than we will.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be bleeding. They're hemorrhaging.
So now you kind of touched on, I think, the third argument that to stay in Canada, and it's more of like a compassion argument. It's like, I feel really bad for people in other parts of Canada who are going to lose their investments over. Like Alberta, I think we're going to do fine. But like, people in Newfoundland and Quebec and Ontario, you're going to see some major economic changes, and probably in a negative way. What do you say to that?
Well, I agree, but hopefully that pressurizes them to go to their leaders and say, get rid of these taxes, get rid of these regulations, get rid of these dumb laws, and so that we can be as successful as Alberta.
Yeah.
I mean, if they refuse to take action for themselves, my sympathy gets pretty limited.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, my sympathy got limited as soon as they stop us from developing our economy. Like, every policy is like anti-Alberta, except for, I guess, we've got to feel bad when we leave and it hurts them.
Yeah, I mean, the one I laugh at especially is you have a bunch of American tankers going down the west coast of British Columbia, and yet we can't ship our own oil that way.
Right.
What's wrong with this picture? And then we have them on the East Coast.
Yeah. It makes no sense. Like, the Americans are sending tankers after tankers along the BC coast. Nobody cares. And then the other side of Canada, tankers and tankers. But that's another thing. It's like, I don't know if we're going to win the hearts and minds of people in the middle with these types of arguments. What do you say? Like, what do you think about that? What's going to win them?
So I had a young man in my garage talking a few months ago, and he was a doubter. He was undecided. So I walked through the numbers, I walked through the tax situation, and he said, so seriously, I can save, call it a third of my tax. I said, yep, here's the numbers, walk through it. He says, that does it for me.
Yeah.
So I think economics speaks a lot. Economics. I think also people recognizing that Alberta is a bit different. It always has been.
Yeah.
And hey, we're trying to work together as a country to make sense for us.
Yeah.
And again, we're not angry at Canada.
Yeah.
We're just different.
Yeah.
So hearts and minds, I'm not sure. Some people will never change, but economics speaks a lot.
Economics speaks a lot. I mean, for me though, it does. Maybe I'm a weird guy because I'm like, I don't care if we win or lose money on this. I just want freedom.
Well, but the price of freedom has to be paid for.
It's got to be paid.
I mean, it's one thing to say I want to be free, but I want to put gas in my car and I want to drive a vehicle and I want to have a nice house or comfortable. Well, you got to have a job to do that and enough money to do that.
Yeah.
So economics matters.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I guess I'm an idealist, but you're absolutely right. Economics matter. Hey, it was really nice talking to you, Dennis. I'm so glad I met you.
Thanks very much, and good luck.
Would you like to say anything else for the camera before we leave?
Just get out and vote, folks.
Get out and vote. Hey, thanks so much, Dennis.
Take care.
It was a pleasure to meet you. There's so many people here that I want to meet. I wanted to go meet John Bolton, too. I saw him walking around here. But,
now John has lots of customers here.
Hey, how's it going?
Because every morning I watch you.
No, you don't.
And
Really?
I watch all your
watch it all the time.
episodes. And you
I'm
are
humbled and honored.
lonely cowboy. And I say, he keeps going to the wrong places. He should talk to me.
Okay, well, let's talk. What brings you out to the...
Ask me a question.
Okay. Can I ask what your accent is?
Check.
Czech?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I escaped communism. And now communism, after 50 years, is catching up with me.
Yeah.
So I want the Republic.
Yeah.
Alberta Republic. That's the only salvation.
Well, and I want to hear more of your perspective because so many people who immigrate to Canada, especially from communist countries or dictatorships, they share this opinion. They're in favor of independence.
John, today's Canada is drowning in propaganda.
Yeah.
And what's so painful is that this propaganda actually is more stupid than the true old-fashioned communist propaganda.
Yeah.
It was tolerable because everybody knew what it was based on.
Yeah.
You could go to the library, actually at the university, at schools and universities, we had to study it, obligatory, mandatory. But it had a logic, whatever perverted logic. But today's Canadian propaganda doesn't even have logic. It's so painful, like environment and all the other stuff, it's unbearable. That's one thing.
Okay.
But then the robbery, continuous ongoing robbery of Alberta by the feds, that's another thing. And the disregard for us for past 100 years, 150 since 1904.
Well, tell my viewers what it was like living under communism.
Well, everybody knew that you couldn't say anything in public.
Yeah.
Kids were told, don't say at school what you hear at home.
Right.
So it was a double life, basically.
Yeah.
That was the trouble. But now, Canada is being destroyed by the liberal dynasty.
Yeah.
We had 2 generations of Trudeaus
Yeah.
who killed a perfectly good country.
Yeah.
And Carney is just carry on.
Yeah.
And he's more dangerous than Trudeau because he's actually educated.
Yeah, Carney's actually smart. But you said something interesting about like censorship there. A lot of Canadians now are censoring themselves, self-censoring about, feels like the same thing I imagine communism was like, what you described.
Well, yeah. But to come to today's situation, like I wish the independence movement would unite and consolidate its power because we are fragmented.
Yeah.
And we can't even elect a leader because without a political party, there's no way to elect anybody. So we don't have a mandate in Edmonton, and we are at the mercy of UCP and Daniel Smith.
Right.
And we should do far better.
Well, I've come to the conclusion that Canada is too big to be effectively governed.
Yes.
And like I'm thinking about the Soviet Union too, like Czech Republic and all the little countries that were once part of that. They're all independent, unique little places, and they're way better off on their own.
Encouragement to us because small countries like Czechoslovakia, now there are 2 countries, and they are all happy.
Yeah.
There's no problem, didn't cause any catastrophe.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of smaller countries who are doing well.
Yeah.
So I think all we need is to get organized. By not being organized, we lost 10% of yes vote probably because we just dived head first into the situation. And
I got to cut this a bit short because it looks like the group is starting to move on here.
Last thing I would say, we need a plan B.
Okay.
What are we going to do? My big question for all of these people in the movement is, what are you guys going to do on October 20th?
I don't have a plan B.
Do we want to end up empty-handed with nothing? Because that's what's going to happen unless we have a political party, our own home, to carry on the fight.
Okay. I don't have a plan B. You really piqued my interest now.
We need to. On October 20, what do? Do we just get drunk?
Yeah.
We want to keep the fight until we win.
I can't imagine that far in the future, but it's like if we don't win, I just feel like I'm giving up on Canada completely. I don't even want to be here anymore.
We'll never give up on Alberta. We gave up on Canada.
Yeah.
Canada is toast.
Well,
I wouldn't fly Canadian flag. I used to be very, very proud of my Canadian passport. Today I would be embarrassed.
Yeah.
My MP offered me to enter a draw for a Canadian flag. No, I don't care. I still have a flag that I bought for $50.
Yeah.
From Sheila Cops. Okay, I wouldn't fly that flag. I'm disgusted with this country.
Yeah.
It's a failed federation.
Well, and I agree with that, except that I guess if Alberta votes to stay, then they're giving up on me. So then I guess I'm just done. I haven't thought that far. That's hard for me to imagine.
Well, that's the downside of democracy.
Yeah.
We are at the mercy of the majority, and if the majority doesn't decide the right way, well, we'll suffer together.
Yeah.
And
we'll suffer together.
We made one excellent point that the extra large countries don't perform well. There is not one extra large country doing well. It's like buying a XXX large t-shirt. It never fits.
I have to cut this short. It's really windy. It was so nice talking to you.
I'll watch you tomorrow morning.
You'll be featured in there. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
So I hope this video has been good because it's so windy. The little convoy that we got going on here is going to continue, and I'm going to jump on with it. But I guess the news is happening.
Bounty out there that we don't have to take down because of the wind. All right, let's saddle up.
Okay. Hey, John. I want to introduce myself. Can I introduce myself on camera?
Talking to Albertans, baby.
I listen to you every single day.
Oh, thank you.
You're like my news source.
Oh,
I want to be the fanboy for you.
well,
I really like
are we
your show.
rolling here?
We are, yeah.
We're rolling. Well,
Yeah.
I'm a fanboy for you as well. You know, isn't it amazing what we can do these days?
I know.
You know, I was talking to somebody earlier. I worked in radio for about 35 years, and they all came up and said, we need to know where everything's happening. And I said, everything happens so fast because I'm 61 years old now, and back in the day, you know, back in the old days, we didn't have this kind of stuff, and we can do this and be on instantly. I put videos up online, and people are already responding.
It's not live. I'll publish it tonight.
Yes, I understand.
But you know what? Your voice sounds exactly the way it does. I was wondering if you run it through like a synthesizer.
No, not at all.
You got a good radio voice.
Well, you know, I have a face made for radio, they say. And I don't know. I do video in the morning, but yeah, I worked in radio for 35 years.
Yeah. Thanks so much for all you do, and I wish I could have a better conversation with you, but it's kind of looks like we're starting to roll out here.
Yeah. No, I hope I can catch up with you again. I'm going to do one of these rolls. I missed one a few weekends ago, and if you go out on another one, let me know. In fact, we should contact. Or I'd like to interview you. Yeah. I want to get you on the channel.
Okay.
So I'll be in contact with you, and we can have a nice talk back and forth.
I would like that. Yeah, a little bit more sit down and reasonable. Yeah.
No, I'm more comfortable asking the question. So I'm going to ask you a question. Whoa, losing the hat. Could you grab my hat, please?
Can you get the hat?
So I want to ask you a question. Sure. Isn't this amazing?
Yeah.
You go out. I come out here today, and we're signing a lot of people up here today with this petition. A lot of people have come out here today. But the thing that really makes me feel good as I got to meet these people. Don't you just find it remarkable, the people you meet? Isn't that the best thing about what you're doing?
Yeah. I woke up this morning, I was thinking, you know what, I feel like I'm on an adventure. Like I feel like we're like in a storybook, and we're a bunch of like knights and squires, and we're marching off with our flags, and we're gonna like slay the dragon or something. Like I feel like, and we're meeting all these amazing people along the way. It's such a, you know, like here's your mission for today. Go meet John Bolton.
You know, we've had the bouncy castle up and down today. I've said a couple of times it's flipping and flopping like Carney on a rant, but the thing is that I will remember.
I stole that line for you, by the way.
Oh, thank you. But you know, it's the people that I'll remember the most about today.
Yeah.
It's great getting the signatures, obviously.
Yeah.
It's great having a bouncy castle and pizza and coffee, but meeting the people and talking to them has been wonderful for me. And you're a lucky man because you get to talk to these people. You're talking with Albertans, baby.
Well, and talking to Albertans, and like I could stay here for 3 hours, but they're starting to roll out.
Yeah.
So can I get you to promote one thing on your show tomorrow? Do you publish it tonight, or you wake up at like 2 in the morning?
I'm probably going to be editing late tonight and getting up early in the morning. That's the way things are.
Because tomorrow I'll be in Lacombe, and I'm gonna publish I'm gonna make a video there too, probably, but at noon in Lacombe at 50th and Highway 2A. Just waving the flag with a bunch of people that were trying to meet up, have a canvas meeting like this.
Okay.
I got like 15 to 20 people interested. So it'll be like a little thing like this. Maybe just publish that on your channel.
I'd love to do that. And what you can do is just send me an email. And I don't mind if people get in touch with me. johnboltonab@gmail.com.
Okay.
If you can send that to me while you're on your cruise today, I'll check for it and send me all the details, and we'll be sure to do that for you.
Thanks so much.
Let's talk again.
I'd be honored to have you, or to be on your show. Thanks.
Let's do it. We'll do that for sure.
Hey, thanks so much.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
You got a GoPro going right now too?
No, this is my security.
Oh.
Just in case somebody comes up to me, I hit the button, right?
I got an Insta360 that whenever I'm recording in certain places, I always have it running.
Yeah, I haven't rolled it today. Everybody's been damn nice.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
You're smart for that. It's a shame that we're at that point now where you got to like think about security.
Yeah.
Like I never thought Canada would get to this point.
Just before you go, and I know you got to roll in a moment. You know, I was talking to somebody early this morning, and we've been talking about, you know, the people that are coming out and being a little bit nasty.
Yeah.
I think those things are few and far between. They get magnified.
They do.
But you know what I think we need to focus on? We need to focus on the businesses that are allowing us in to do these things, and get a list of those businesses and say, these people are independence friendly. Let's go visit them. Maybe we should do a slow roll to all those people
Paul's
someday. What do you
Pizza.
think? Yeah,
See
absolutely.
my hat?
Yeah, exactly.
He
And
gave
there's
me a hat.
There are
he's
lots
not,
of them.
He's not sponsoring me. He just gave me a free hat, and I'm like, I'm gonna support you because you're a good guy.
Let's not focus on the people trying to keep us out. Let's focus on the people who are letting us in.
Yeah.
I think we should do that.
Hey, awesome.
Let's be positive about it.
Awesome. Thanks so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Hey, have a great day.
You too.
It was nice meeting you, and say hi to everybody else. Thank you so much, everybody.
Woohoo.
You guys are so awesome. Thanks for all your volunteer work. I wish I could interview all of you. But thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out.
All right, guys, that's the end of my video. I got to get joined up here with this group, and we're going to go roll around Calgary. And you know, one more thing I just want to say. She's waving at me. One more thing I just want to say is, if you support Alberta independence, we got to push really hard right now. Push like we've never pushed before, because there's a talk about an injunction coming up and stopping this. So if you want to sign this petition, crawl over broken glass to find a place like this to sign. There's 7,000 volunteers all across Alberta who are like volunteering their time like this to do this, taking the time out of a Saturday afternoon. Hey, thanks so much. So please like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Cheers.